Okay, so hopefully I've convinced you of how incredibly helpful a thumbnail sketch can be in terms of planning your painting before you ever start and avoiding a lot of pitfalls and having an idea of where you want to go and even being able to create where you want to go. But if you've never done one before, I'm just going to show you what they are. It's very simple. It'll just take a couple minutes here. So let's take a look. You don't need anything except for a sketchbook, a piece of paper, anything like that, and a pencil. It's so easy. Now, what you want to do is you want to think through what your reference is. Maybe you want to think with the end in mind. Like if you have a canvas that is 24 inches by 30 inches, that's a pretty big one. But if you break that down, it's a 4 by 5, right? So it could be 8 by 10, that would fall in that same range. If your canvas was 12 by 16, it would be 3 by 4. That's the ratio, is 3 by 4. So you just want to think through, what is your canvas going to look like? If it was a 1 by 2, that means it's going to be twice as long as it is tall, right? So I would go something like this. I would need to draw a little boundary for my sketch that would be like that. And you don't need these to be very big. They can be a couple inches, and you're just trying to get the idea of your design in place. So that might be 1 by 2, but if it was 3 by 4, maybe you would do, I mean, you could use a ruler to get really accurate. Most of the time, I eyeball it and just kind of go with what I think is pretty close. But and you know, if I want to be really accurate, I definitely would use a ruler, and I definitely try to make all the lines. But these are the kind of things that I'll just do when I'm out painting, and I'm just getting really quick ideas down. I need to make sure that what I'm doing is going to make sense. And then you just sketch your scene on, right? So let's imagine that we're looking at, I'm just going to do something really basic here. We're imagining that we have a house. This house is overlooking this water, and there's a little island back there, and there's some land here, okay? So we've got we're just gonna, again, this is just very simple, and we're not trying to make anything too crazy. But before I started all that, what I would recommend you doing is making yourself a simple value kind of pattern, or so you know where your, I shouldn't say pattern, a little scale, value scale. So you have your light, which you don't do anything to. You have your mid-tone, which is, you're just not pushing down quite as hard. And then you have your dark, which is your darkest value. And you're gonna try to keep this value study to those 3 basic values. So I'm gonna just say, let's make this back here, this land back here, we'll make that the mid-tone. Maybe we'll make this grass here also mid-tone. And then let's see, maybe this building is going to be a little bit on the darker side, or at least like in the shadow here should be a little bit darker. But I'm just going to make the whole thing darker. Let's just imagine that it's a darker wood or paint or something like that, and it's a darker color. So we have now kind of this scene that has all 3 values in it, and we can, if we want this roof, it can also go down to the mid value. And okay, so whatever, that gives us an idea. Now the cool thing about this is we look at this and we go, well, I don't really love everything about this. What can we do to change it? Now, I can do as many of these as I want to or need to until I get a design that I am really happy with. Now, we're still working at this, and but I'm gonna make one significant change to it this time. And I'm gonna try my best to kind of keep everything else pretty similar. I'm not trying to make a bunch of other changes, but so if you see any changes, it's more unintentional at this point. But so I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be the mid-tone. We'll keep this roof as the mid-tone also, and then we'll put in this window and we'll make this dark again. Okay, so everything's the same so far. What's the change? Well, I think that this might benefit. Let's just say, I think that we could put in a tree over here. So now I can bring in a tree or maybe a cluster of trees that are gonna sit right here on the edge of this. They might even be kind of like coming from the other side of that hill right there. And so now all of a sudden we have two totally distinct designs. They're similar, but we can now compare this. Now, how long did this take? This took me an extra couple minutes to come up with this design and add that in. And now I can do a little comparison. I could also do another one and I could make more changes. Like I wonder what it would be like if the sky was not just all the same color. Let's add a little bit of darker, the mid-tone value to that upper sky. And oh, let's see, how does that look, right? You can make as many changes to this as you want, and you can do as many different thumbnail designs as you want. And then in the end, you can say, do I like A, B, or C better, right? You know, and you have a different one. And then you can choose. And you can, in this way, you can really simplify your painting process, and you can come up with your favorite ideas, your favorite designs. You can pull things together, you can lighten things, you can darken things, you can move things, you can shift things. All of this can be done so easily right here, and these are not meant to take, 2 hours to do a sketch. It's meant to be, how can I come up with a strong design? And your design is gonna be based on your values. It's gonna be an interesting shape pattern of your different darks and lights and midtones. So if you want to avoid frustration, have a better idea of where you're going, and even be able to create the destination that you really want your painting to end up, please, again, do not use the thumbnail sketch. I repeat, do not ever use a thumbnail sketch, because that'd be too easy, right? Anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I will look forward to seeing you next time. Leave your comments below of what you would like to have me talk about in a future episode of this. And have fun, keep painting, and be strong, and be brave. You are amazing, and you are loved.